So today I'm going to show you how to make smoked salmon blinis, a festive classic. I'm going to show you how to make the blinis from scratch, and then I'm going to show you how to dress them. So for this recipe, for the blinis, you'll need some all-purpose flour, some fine sea salt, some baking powder, some semi-skimmed milk, 3 ranged eggs, some butter, and then for the salmon and just for the topping, you'll need some crème fraîche, some smoked salmon, and some chives. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure my dry ingredients. So I'm going to need 120 grams of flour. Then I'm going to need about 3/4 tablespoon of salt. It's really you want to season your butter to taste. Then I'm going to need about half a tablespoon of baking powder. And so that's my dry ingredients. So before I measure my wet ingredients, I'm going to melt some butter. So we only need a very small piece, 15 grams of butter. So I'm going to put that on very low heat so it gently melts without taking any color or burning while I measure the rest of my ingredients. So now I'm going to measure 200 milliliters of milk, and to that I'm going to add 1 egg. Gently mix my dry ingredients together to make sure that they're combined before I add the wet ingredients to them. So now I'm going to carefully tip my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients. I just don't worry too much about lumps, just tip it all in there. Just get it combined. Don't worry too much about the lumps, it'll all even itself out. And so once it's mostly combined, I'm going to add my butter to it. So I got a fairly large pan, so I'm just going to scrape my butter to make sure I get all of it into my mixture. And I'm just going to pour that into it. So now I'm going to cover this with cling film and leave it to rest for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much in a rush you're in. So for the blinis, I'm now going to heat my pan and I'm going to put a little bit of butter in there. Just enough for my blinis, and you'll know that it's ready to go when your butter starts sizzling. So you see now my butter is foaming and it's starting to sizzle, and so I'm just going to get about a tablespoonful and pour it on there. And you can do more than one at once. And I'm going to wait for bubbles to appear on the surface, and as soon as they're there, I know that on the bottom they should be nice and browned. Now you're starting to get bubbles at the top, and you should be able to flip them and have a bit of color on the edges, and you can always flip them back on, and they're just about ready. And I'm just gonna tip them onto a plate with some kitchen towel to drain off the grease. And as soon as the grease has been drained off, you just want to cover them until you're ready to serve them. For the garnish of the blinis, I'm going to chop up some chives. Just spread a little bit of the crème fraîche on my blini. Don't want too much, you don't want it to be too rich. Then we're ready to take a smoked salmon, to wrap it around your fingers and twist it as you go. So it makes a fairly nice shape, like a rose, and arrange it onto your blini. Then you're gonna get some chives and just sprinkle some on top. And there you have it, your smoked salmon blinis ready to go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please watch our other videos.